Morning. Last class, we were discussing regarding the research process, where student has to prepare for project report or any research topic they are going on. And this is the actual process of research, how actually it flows, you can see. And it begins with the defining of research problem. That yesterday I was discussing you. Every organization has their own problems, research problems. They have to go for it. What exactly you are going to search? Okay, analyze. So first of all, you have to define the research problem which you are going for. Okay, once you have decided your research problem, then the same topic you have to go for literature review. Okay, so here you can review two things. The one is the review concept and theories, which are published in textbooks, articles, okay, or journals, wherever it is. Okay, the theories, concepts will be there in textbooks. Most 99% will be available over there. And these concepts, for example, if I say you, the consumer behavior model, okay, that is an concept and theory. Principles of management, 14 principles of management, a theory. Maslow's need of hierarchy, those are the review theories. So those you can review the concept and theories. Now, next is the reviewing the previous research finding. There are people on the same topic, they have done some research. Yesterday I was explaining. So that research, okay, that research has to be carefully evaluated. You have to read around for your MBA exam, MBA project report, they ask for 20 minimum. But when you are trying to go for PhD or you are looking for a business research, then you should go for minimum 100 research paper. So after understanding all the research paper, there you have to find out the gap which is not been filled or identified or which has not been touched. So scope of the study, you can say. So that we have to do. And the next thing comes is the formulate the hypothesis. Okay. So you have already studied the calculation of hypothesis, how different hypotheses are formed. Can somebody answer me the different types of hypothesis? Just anybody can switch on your mic and say what are different type of hypothesis.
Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis.
Okay. What are the different again? Z-cal.
Z calculated,
Hmm.
T
T-cal. Yeah.
T test,
Yes.
F test.
Okay.
Crystal.
Yeah. So these are all the hypotheses. Now, according to the sample size, okay, how you are going to, you have to formulate first hypothesis, null hypothesis, and what is the another one?
Alternative hypothesis.
Alternate.
Alternative hypothesis. What is two-tailed test? One-tailed test? I think you have studied this, right? Two-tailed test.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then you formulate the hypothesis. Okay, one says no, it doesn't impact. One says it impacts. Depends on your research. You can go for a number of hypotheses. So once you formulate the hypothesis, then you have to design research. So designing research process is all about sample size, primary data and secondary data, how you are going to qualitative and quantitative. You have to design whole process, how you are going to collect the data and how many people you are going to do. And the number of people decides what type of test you are going to do. Correct? If less than 30, what test we are going to do? If more than 30, what test we are going to do?
Large and small test.
Yes, exactly. So this is how we decide the research design. So once we do, okay, so you can see there is a FF. So what is that? FF is feed forward, service the vital function of providing criteria for evaluation. That is nothing but analysis of data. Now, after that process, we will move to the collect the data. We prepare questionnaire according to the objectives we have set, what exactly we are looking for, and we collect the data. Okay, we can collect the primary data, we can go for the secondary data. So we collect all the data, and what we do after that is we analyze the data. Okay, how we analyze? We take it in a tabulate formats. Then that formats, what we do is we check with hypothesis. We do the calculation of hypothesis. Okay. If any testing hypothesis, so feedback, that is F there, helps in controlling subsystem to which it is transmitted. So after analyzing the hypothesis, what we do, we get the results. Okay, we use charts, we use different diagrams. We can say the graphical diagram. Then we interpret and report the data. First of all, what we are doing, we are interpreting whatever we have researched, and then we are reporting it to the preparation of the report. Okay, we can call it the preparation of the report. And this is the whole process of research process. Okay. So what is the research problem exactly? We have business problems, marketing, finance, HR, operations, that I told in my last classes. Every field has a huge number of problems the business will be having. Okay, now taking that as a problem and doing the research for it. Okay, what exactly the problem is, research problem, it refers to the some difficulty which researcher experience in the context of either a theoretical or a practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. Usually we say that research problem does exist if the following condition are met with. Okay, so there must be an individual. Okay, let's call I. These are the condition where exactly it goes. Okay, now rather than that, now we'll come to the defining the research problem. Okay, over the above these conditions that here we can see, that is there must be an individual or a group or organization, call it as I, to whom the problem can be attributed. The individual or the organization, as a case may be, occupies an environment, say N, which is defined by the values of uncontrolled variables. So there are variables, there are the problem, there are the reporting, that always happens. Okay, these are all the technical terms which comes. Okay, and there must be at least two courses of action, say C1 and C2, to be pursued. A course of action is defined by one or more values of the controlled variable. For example, the number of items purchased at a specified time is said to be one course of action. Okay, this is all about understanding the concepts, conditions. There must be at least two possible outcomes, say 0, 1 and O2. O1, O2 of the course of action, which should be preferable to the other. In other words, this means that there must be at least one outcome that researchers want. That is what deciding in the hypothesis, we do that. Okay, either this will happen or this is going to happen. Okay, this is all about the designing part. Now, when it comes to the, for example, defining how we are going to define the research problem, okay, an individual or a group of person can be said to have a problem which can be technically described as a research problem. Okay, having one or more desired outcomes or confronted with two or more courses of action that have some but not equal efficiency for the desired objective. Okay, for example, you want to study about the customer satisfaction, you want to study about the perception, you want to study about the attitude, you would like to study about the impact of advertising, you would like to study about the millennials thinking, how they think. Okay, the working culture, the performance appraisal systems. So these are all comes as a part. Okay, in that you can study one part. Okay, so here we can those state the components of a research problem as under. Okay, first there must be an individual or group which has some difficulty of the problem. So obviously this should be there. Without individual and without group or organization, there will not be any problem. There must be some objectives to be attained at. If one wants nothing, one cannot have a problem. Okay, the desired levels of objectives should be there. There must be alternative means for obtaining the objectives. Okay, one wishes to attain. There are, if for you're fitting for one goal, you can get it in different way. There are different options, and through that you can get it. Okay, if one wants nothing, one cannot have, sorry, yeah, sorry. This means that there must be at least two means available to a researcher. If he has no choice of means, he cannot have a problem. Okay, once he should have a problem, and another thing, he should not have a problem. Okay, There must be remain some doubt in the mind of researchers with regard to the selection of alternatives. This means the research must answer the question concerning the relative efficiency of the possibility alternatives. So simple thing, I have already explained you what are alternatives. Okay. Alternatives are those one thing can be done in different way. So those are all called alternatives. So here one problem can be solved with the different alternatives. The best one has to be choose. And there must be some environment to which difficulty pertains. For example, marketing environment, a specific area environment, or geographical area, or some age factor, or a gender factor. Okay, so these are factors comes where the problem arises, and there should be an environment. For example, I would like to say that Santur is not famous in this North India. Now, why it is not famous? So if you want to search it, there is an area that is called environment. Okay. The most important part comes is the selection of the topic or the problem. Okay. So the research problem undertaken for study must be carefully selected because you should go in depth to it. So you should have some backup data for you. Okay. The task is difficult one, although it may not appear be so. Okay. So you have to select the problems which you can go for, and you have some already research or concepts available. Okay. Now, if we come to below, you just come down here. However, the following points may be considered by researcher in selecting the research problem. First is subject which is overdone should not be normally chosen. Overdone means which is almost 99% finished. Okay. For it will be a difficult task to throw any new light in such cases. Correct? Because you can't find any new thing which is already been done. Everything is finished there. So what you are going to search? So that type of subject you should not choose. Next is controversial subject should not become the choice of an average researcher. Average researcher means you are just a newly person who are getting into the research, because you don't know how to touch these aspects. It create a problem in future. So avoid such type of topics. Next is too narrow or too vague problems should be avoided. It should not be a very small aspect and it should not be very big. Okay, so these type of problems should be avoided. The subject selected for research should be familiar and feasible so that the related research material sources of research are within one's reach. That's what I'm telling you. So whatever problem you are choosing, the resources should be available with you. Okay, either in textbook form, either in article form or general form. Okay, wherever the data should be available. So that type of subject you should select. Next is the importance of the subject. Okay, the qualification and the training of a researcher. Okay, that is important part. The cost involved, the time factor are few other criteria that must also be considered in selecting a problem. For example, if you're doing a PhD degree, there will be a minimum 3 and maximum 5 years as a full time. If you're going for part time, yeah, 5 years you have to go for. Okay, so here the important part is, as you are going for MBA, your knowledge level will be less, the qualification level will be less. You can do some minimum level of research, and what type of training you have received in researcher, and that matters a lot. And the cost involved, yes, there is a cost involved when you are doing some research. And how much time you are putting, believe me, if you are doing a full-time PhD, you are putting your 3 years. Okay, part-time you are putting your 5 years searching. And if it is an organization, depends on the time. Okay, it should not get wasted. In other words, before the final selection of a problem is done, a researcher must ask himself for the following questions. Next, the importance of the subject which you are choosing, the qualification and the training of the researchers, the cost involved, the time factor, or few other criteria must also be considered selecting a problem. Subject always matters a lot. I'm telling once again, the subject matters a lot. And before going to any research, he should ask these questions: whether he is well equipped in terms of his background to carry out the research. Okay, so background in the sense, are you what do you call, expertise in that particular matter? Then you can go. For example, in MBA, in you second year, we're doing the project report. Are you good at HR or finance or marketing? So obviously with that, you will select the project reports. Whether the study falls within the budget he can afford, money involved in all aspects. For example, if you decided to do your project report in Bangalore, so there is an money involved. Okay. So if company wants to go for a study, yes, there is a money involved. PhD, money involved. Whether the necessary cooperation can be obtained from those who must participation in research as a subjects. Cooperation, yes, that is most important part. Wherever you are doing research, those companies, those organizations should support you, or else you cannot go further. And the fourth one is the selection of a problem must be pre-decided or a preliminary study. Okay, the small study should be done on it. So this may not be necessary when the problem requires the conduct of research closely similar to one that has already been done. No, if it is a new, then you should have a small preliminary study should be done. But when the field of inquiry is relatively new and does not have available a set of well-developed techniques, okay, then you should go for this small study. A brief feasibility study must always be undertaken. You can say testing, can we proceed this or not? That has to be done. So these are the aspects you should uh, consider before selecting the research problem. Okay. Now, necessity of defining the problem. Yes, obviously you should define, then only you can go further it. Questions like you just pay this here. What data are to be collected? That is totally depend on the problem. What characteristics of data are relevant and need to be studied? Qualitative, quantitative data. What relations are to be explored? Okay, what techniques are to be used for the purpose? Which test you are going through? What statistical tool you have to use? Okay, and similar other questions crop up in the mind of the researchers, who can well plan his strategy and find answers to all such questions only when the research problem has been well defined. So if your problem is well defined, so then only the research will become very nice, or else it will be like just a project with useless. Now techniques involving defining a problem. Okay, so here if you see, the first is statement of the problem in general way. Okay, should be stated in a broad general way. For example, if I say you a study on customer perception towards the Byju's or online training centers, or if I say a problem like a study on if a study of consumer behavior of rural customers towards online services. Okay, so this is all called the statement of problem in general. Okay, so basically we all fall in social research. Okay, in case of social research, it is considered advisable to do some field observation, and as such as researchers may undertake some sort of preliminary survey, or often it is called as a pilot survey, which is the survey which is done before the going for the main survey. Okay, that we call it as a pilot survey. So that is the first thing you have to go for, in especially in social research. And MBA or management business studies, these all fall under social research. Now what is the second thing you need to do? Understanding the nature of the problem. Okay, so the next step in defining the problem is to understand the origin and nature clearly, from where it is and what exactly the problem is. So how we can understand this is discuss it with those who first raise it, in order to find out how problem originally came about and with what objective in view. There who have done the research, you can mail them, you can meet them, or you can ask them, you can put a query how this problem has came up, why it has came up. Okay, or you can go to the organization or marketing, you can ask what are the reason that problem has came up. If you understand the nature of the problem, then it will be easy to fix you the problem. Next is surveying the available literature, that what I already discussed. There are huge research available who have done on the same topic. You can study those all and you can understand the gap and you can proceed with it. Next Developing the ideas through discussion. Yes, discussion always matter. The guide will be there, the seniors will be there, the superiors will be there. Okay, they are the best people with whom you can discuss. Okay, which always give the useful information. Various new idea can be developed. They put their own ideas into it. Okay, because they add their own experience in it. So that is all added to your project report. So always have a discussion. Next is rephrasing the research problem. So problem always not be perfect. Always it has to be redesigned. So final, the researcher must sit to the rephrase the research problem into a working proposition. It should have some meaning in it. Okay. Once the nature of the problem has been clearly understood, the environment has been defined, discussion over the problem have taken place, and the available literature has been surveyed and examined. So rephrasing the problem into analytical is very easy and very possible. And then you can go for setting the hypothesis also. So this is regarding the today's class. And please, I am sharing this textbook